Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you.
1.
Skip Brittenham, the trailblazing Hollywood attorney whose innovative deal-making reshaped the entertainment industry, died on July 17, 2025, at the age of 83. As co-founder of the boutique law firm Ziffrin Brittenham, Brittenham was a behind-the-scenes force, trusted by actors, producers, executives, and tech visionaries alike. Throughout his career, he represented a constellation of stars: Harrison Ford, Eddie Murphy, Tom Hanks, Henry Winkler, and even Steve Jobs. Known for his sharp mind and unshakable candor, Brittenham pioneered back-end deals that allowed talent to share in a project's long-term success, changing the industry's economic landscape. Born Harry Montague Brittenham in Michigan, he grew up in a military family, moving frequently. His early years in the Air Force and government science agencies shaped his discipline and analytical thinking, but law and storytelling called to him. He graduated from UCLA Law in 1970, and not long after co-founded Ziffrin Brittenham, redefining the relationship between law and entertainment. Though he often kept a low public profile, those who knew him saw a man of quiet integrity, deep curiosity, and disarming humor. "Tell the truth, always. That's what sets you apart," he once said, a principle he lived by, earning trust across an industry where honesty can be rare. He didn't bill by the hour. He valued time, especially time to fish remote rivers, to explore graphic novels, to invest in causes like environmental protection. As co-creator of Anomaly Productions, he merged law, art, and environmental consciousness in a way only he could. Skip Brittenham is survived by his wife, actress Heather Thomas, 3 daughters, 4 grandchildren, and a legacy that continues through every creative deal he helped craft. His influence lives on, not only in blockbuster contracts and billion-dollar studios, but in the idea that law, when guided by purpose and principle, can be a form of art.
2.
Annet McCroskey, acclaimed talent manager, producer, and CEO of Artistic Endeavors, passed away on July 11, 2025, in Los Angeles, following a sudden and devastating medical emergency. She was 51. For over 2 decades, McCroskey championed young actors and rising filmmakers with a rare blend of passion and purpose. A former acting instructor, she founded Little Stars Management in 2004, which evolved into Artistic Endeavors in 2007, a platform through which she launched and nurtured numerous careers across film, television, and streaming. Her eye for potential was matched only by her belief in the human spirit. McCroskey was awarded the Heller Award for Manager of the Year in 2013 and served as president of the Talent Managers Association from 2013 to 2015. Yet beyond accolades, what defined her was her quiet strength and unwavering faith in creative voices. She poured her energy into others, her family wrote, leaving a legacy of love, generosity, and belief in people's potential. As a producer, McCroskey brought stories to life with the 2018 film Locating Silver Lake and several upcoming projects. Her recent partnership with Rise Flicks aimed to open doors for the next generation of independent storytellers. She served in advisory and leadership roles across the entertainment industry, from SAG-AFTRA's Looking Ahead program to Sundance Institute, Women in Film, and Film Independent. Her work was not just about launching careers, it was about shaping values. She championed causes tied to indigenous communities, LGBTQ+ rights, children's advocacy, and environmental justice. Born in Germany and raised in California, Annet found her path early, blending artistry with activism. Behind every contract was compassion. Behind every success story was her steady presence. She is survived by her husband, Aaron, her sons, Angelo and Aidan, and a beloved Arabian horse, Luna. Annet McCroskey leaves behind more than a resume. She leaves behind a generation of artists who carry forward her unwavering faith in creativity and community.
Three.
Andrea Gibson, the award-winning spoken word poet whose artistry gave language to the marginalized and solace to the suffering, died on July 14, 2025, at their home in Boulder, Colorado. They were 49. Their death followed a 4-year battle with ovarian cancer, documented in the Sundance-winning film Come See Me in the Good Light. A native of Maine who made Colorado their creative sanctuary, Gibson emerged in the early 2000s as a galvanizing force in American poetry. With verses that wove together themes of gender, queerness, mortality, and radical compassion, Gibson became one of the most influential queer poets of the 21st century. As Colorado's poet laureate for the past 2 years, they used the role not for accolades, but advocacy. Gibson's final years were a testament to their philosophy that art should heal, disrupt, and endure. Even as their illness progressed, they remained a vibrant presence, publishing, performing, and inspiring. In a poem written shortly before their passing, they observed, "Dying is the opposite of leaving. I am more here than I ever was before." It was more than verse, it was conviction. They authored acclaimed collections including You Better Be Lightning, Lord of the Butterflies, and Take Me With You, and consistently used their platform to illuminate both beauty and grief. Their performances were cathartic events, part concert, part confessional, where laughter and tears shared the same breath. Tributes from across communities poured in. Governor Jared Polis remembered Gibson as truly one of a kind, and Tig Notaro, executive producer of the documentary and longtime friend, wrote, "Watching Andrea's final days was heartbreaking and beautiful. Pure human connection unfolding in the face of loss." Andrea Gibson is survived by their wife, poet Megan Falley, and by a chosen family of ex-partners, friends, and fans who found in their words a reason to live more bravely.
Four.
David Kaff, the classically trained pianist turned prog rock innovator and cult cinema icon, died peacefully in his sleep on July 12, 2025. He was 79. His passing was confirmed by his bandmates from Mutual of Alameda's Wild Kingdom, who remembered him as a musician of both wit and warmth, and a friend whose laughter lingered long after the encore. Born David Caffinetti in Folkestone, England, Kaff began his musical life with classical training before embracing the creative freedoms of rock in the 1960s. In 1969, he co-founded Rare Bird, a progressive rock group best known for the international hit Sympathy, which sold over 1 million copies and became a lasting anthem of its era. Kaff's enduring fame came in a very different form, as Viv Savage, the dim-witted but endearing keyboardist in Rob Reiner's 1984 mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap. Cast alongside Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer, Kaff infused Savage with comic sincerity, delivering unforgettable lines like, "Have a good time, all the time." For a generation of fans, he became a face of satire and sincerity within one of cinema's sharpest spoofs on the music industry. While Kaff distanced himself from the fictional band after the film's initial release, he continued his musical journey with bands like Model Citizens and Mutual of Alameda's Wild Kingdom. In interviews, Kaff reflected on his Spinal Tap persona with fondness. "I played him very close to my heart, just a little bit dimmer. he once said. The character, and Kaff himself, remained beloved to audiences decades later. Although he does not appear in the upcoming Spinal Tap sequel, his legacy within the original remains indelible, a comic presence with genuine musical roots. David Kaff is survived by his extended musical family and a global audience still smiling at Viv Savage's blissful outlook on life.
Five.
Thierry Ardisson, a towering figure in French media who transformed the television talk show format over a span of 4 decades, died on July 14, 2025, at the age of 76. Known for his incisive style and relentless innovation, Ardisson was a defining force in modern French broadcasting. His breakthrough came with Tout le monde en parle, launched in 1998 on France 2. The late-night talk show, which ran until 2006, became a cultural phenomenon, drawing millions of viewers each week and regularly capturing nearly 30% of the national audience. Ardisson's interviews, both humorous and unflinchingly direct, challenged the conventions of celebrity media and earned him widespread acclaim and notoriety. Before Tout le monde en parle, Ardisson had already built a reputation as a bold television creator with shows like Lunettes Noires, Pour Nuits Blanches, and Paris Dernière, known for their originality and daring tone. In 2006, he brought his vision to Canal+, launching Salut les Terriens, a weekend talk format that further cemented his status as a media innovator. Ardisson was also a prolific producer with a deep interest in the intersection of technology and storytelling. His 2021 series, Hôtel du Temps, blended archival interviews and cutting-edge AI to reimagine conversations with historical figures such as Dalida and Jean Gabin, showcasing his enduring commitment to pushing creative boundaries. An avid cinephile, Ardisson explored filmmaking projects with international collaborators and authored 3 books, including L'Homme Noir, 2024, a metafictional work that blurred the lines between autobiography and satire. In recognition of his cultural impact, Ardisson was awarded the Légion d'honneur and the title of Chevalier des Arts et des Lettres by the French Republic. Through his daring formats and charismatic presence, Thierry Ardisson revolutionized the role of the television host in France, leaving behind a legacy of bold innovation and unmatched influence.
Six.
Brian Wilson, the reclusive genius whose music defined the sound of California and reshaped American pop culture, died on June 11, 2025. He was 82. The cause was complications related to dementia, a condition that had increasingly impacted his final years. As the chief songwriter and creative architect of the Beach Boys, Wilson brought together sweeping harmonies, orchestral arrangements, and raw emotion in a way few others dared. His magnum opus, Pet Sounds, 1966, initially met with commercial hesitation, but grew to be hailed as one of the greatest albums in history. Paul McCartney once called it the greatest influence on Sgt. Pepper's, and cited God Only Knows as his favorite song of all time. Born into an abusive household in Hawthorne, California, Wilson found refuge in music early on. His deafness in one ear, a result of childhood trauma, did not deter his drive. Instead, he turned inward, developing what Bob Dylan called an ear that belongs in the Smithsonian. But the same sensitivity that produced hits like California Girls and Good Vibrations also exposed him to deep psychological turmoil. Haunted by anxiety, drug use, and later schizoaffective disorder, Wilson withdrew from touring by 1965, retreating into the studio. There, he built sonic worlds that expressed both childlike wonder and aching melancholy. His unfinished project Smile became legend. When he finally released it in 2004, it was as much a healing act as a creative one. Despite legal battles, conservatorship, and years in isolation, Wilson never lost sight of his mission. "I wanted to write joyful music that would make people feel good," he said. His late albums and tours reflected a man at peace with his demons, if not free of them. Wilson is survived by his children and grandchildren. His music, often tinged with a yearning to belong, will continue to offer solace to listeners who, like him, felt not made for these times.
Seven.
Anne Burrell, acclaimed chef, culinary educator, and longtime Food Network personality, passed away on June 17, 2025, at her home in Brooklyn. She was 55. Known for her spiky platinum hair and magnetic energy, Burrell carved a formidable path in modern food television. A graduate of the Culinary Institute of America, 1996, and Italy's prestigious ICIF, her culinary roots were grounded in classical technique and deep respect for Italian gastronomy. She trained under Lidia Bastianich and later at Savoy, developing a style that married boldness with heart, both in cuisine and character. Television audiences first embraced her as a sous chef on Iron Chef America, but it was Secrets of a Restaurant Chef, 2008 to 2015, that elevated her as a household name. Her Emmy-nominated series brought restaurant-quality dishes into home kitchens with clarity, humor, and a fierce belief in people's potential. Burrell's most enduring contribution came through Worst Cooks in America. Over 27 seasons, she became a symbol of resilience and transformation, leading culinary underdogs to triumph. Behind the camera-ready confidence, she carried a quiet empathy, for she too had once stood uncertain in foreign kitchens, forging identity through trial and taste. "I feel so lucky to be able to share my true passion in life with others," she often said. It was not just a motto, but a mission. Outside of television, Burrell authored 2 best-selling cookbooks and championed causes like City Harvest and the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. In every setting, her legacy was rooted in empowerment, teaching not just how to cook, but how to believe in oneself. She is survived by her husband, Stewart Claxton, his son Javier, her mother, siblings, and stepchildren. But Anne Burrell leaves behind a far larger family, the millions she taught to cook, to laugh, and to lead with joy in the kitchen.
8.
Ruth Buzzi, the acclaimed American comedienne whose iconic portrayal of Gladys Ormsby made her a household name on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, passed away on May 2, 2025, at her Texas ranch. She was 88. Buzzi had been battling Alzheimer's and suffered a series of strokes prior to her death. Across more than 4 decades, Buzzi brought to life a tapestry of unforgettable characters through over 200 television appearances. Yet it was her 6-season run on Laugh-In, where she remained the only cast member from pilot to finale, that etched her into the annals of television history. As Gladys Ormsby, the frumpy office worker who wielded her purse like a gavel against indignity, Buzzi embodied the overlooked with equal parts frustration and ferocity. When she fights back, she speaks for everyone who's been marginalized, she once reflected. Buzzi's career was defined not only by her comedic timing, but also by a deep respect for her craft. She approached each performance with humility, once remarking how grateful she was just to drive down the hill to NBC with a job to do. That grounded joy endeared her to co-stars like Lily Tomlin and Goldie Hawn, who remembered her as a one-of-a-kind soul and a comedic genius. Beyond Laugh-In, Buzzi's reach extended to Broadway, Sweet Charity, children's television, Sesame Street, music videos with Weird Al Yankovic, and classic film comedies like Freaky Friday and The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. She voiced countless animated characters and earned multiple Emmy nominations, including one for her heartfelt portrayal of shopkeeper Ruthie. In retirement, Buzzi relocated with her husband Kent Perkins to a ranch in Texas, where she remained active online, engaging fans with her wit and warmth. Her humor, though sharp, always carried a note of empathy, a reminder that laughter could be both rebellion and refuge. Ruth Buzzi leaves behind a legacy of fearless performance and timeless joy.
Nine.
Valerie Mahaffey, celebrated for her elegant eccentricity and depth, passed away on May 30th, 2025, in Los Angeles after a courageous battle with cancer. She was 71. With her versatile talent, Mahaffey left an indelible mark on stage and screen. Gracefully shifting from Broadway to television and film, often playing characters whose quirks hinted at lives richer than the storyline suggested. Her standout moment came as Hypochondriac Eve on Northern Exposure, 1991-94, a performance that claimed her a Primetime Emmy in 1992. Beneath Eve's anxious exterior, viewers glimpsed a soul yearning for meaning and belonging, a reflection of Mahaffey's own warmth and sensitivity. She once shared that playing Eve let her explore the tension between outward composure and inner vulnerability, making the character profoundly human. Mahaffey's career spanned decades and genres. She brought sharp ambition to Desperate Housewives as Alma Hodge and displayed maternal strength in Young Sheldon as teacher Victoria McElroy. In Dead to Me, she embodied the prickly mother-in-law Lorna Harding, layering comedy with the pain of fractured family dynamics. Her nomination for a Spirit Award as Madame Reynard in French Exit, 2020, showcased another side, elegant, complex, and deeply empathetic. Her early roots in theater shaped her distinctive presence on screen. On Broadway, Mahaffey appeared in productions like Dracula with Raul Julia and Play Memory under Harold Prince. She received Obie Awards for her work in Top Girls and Talking Heads, and tackled classical roles like Desdemona and Juliet. Each role revealed her emotional intelligence. She didn't just act, she listened, responded, and inhabited other lives. Valerie loved stories that resonated with real people. In interviews, she spoke of choosing roles that stirred her curiosity, exploring characters whose edges revealed hidden hearts. Off-screen, she was a devoted wife to Joseph Kell and loving mother to their daughter Alice. Her final months, though physically weakened, were spent surrounded by deep love and mutual support, reflecting the grace she carried throughout her life.
Ten.
Pamela Bach-Hasselhoff, a familiar face to television audiences in the 1980s and 1990s and a steady presence in American popular culture, died on March 5, 2025, at the age of 62 in Los Angeles. Her career spanned more than 3 decades, during which she became known for her performances on major network television and her recurring appearances in one of the most watched series of its time. Bach began her acting career in the early 1980s, securing guest roles in popular series such as The Fall Guy, The Young and the Restless, and Sirens. She gained wider recognition through her appearances in Knight Rider, which marked a turning point both professionally and personally. Her role on the show introduced her to David Hasselhoff, whom she would later marry. Her most prominent role came on Baywatch, where she became a recurring cast member over 10 seasons. As part of the ensemble, she contributed to a series that became a global phenomenon, reaching viewers in over 140 countries and helping shape the international image of American television drama during the 1990s. Beyond Baywatch, Bach appeared in several made-for-television films and continued to work steadily in both television and independent film projects. She also took on production roles, notably contributing to the family feature Luna, Spirit of the Whale, and supporting younger artists in emerging media platforms. Her presence on screen was defined by a blend of poise, charm, and emotional accessibility, which helped her connect with audiences across genres. In later years, she embraced opportunities outside of acting, including advocacy work and public appearances that reflected her dedication to both entertainment and personal growth. Pamela Bach-Hasselhoff is survived by her daughters, Taylor and Haley, and her granddaughter, London. Her legacy includes a body of work that reflects the evolution of television across 4 decades and a career built on steady commitment to her craft. Veteran soap actress Denise Alexander, best known for her defining roles as Dr. Leslie Weber on General Hospital and Susan Hunter Martin on Days of Our Lives, passed away on March 5th at the age of 85, a legacy only now shared with the public. Over a career spanning more than 6 decades, Alexander carved a distinctive path in television, earning critical acclaim and endearing herself to millions of viewers worldwide. Her journey began in radio and Broadway during the early 1950s, where her appearances in Broadway's The Children's Hour and frequent guest spots on The Twilight Zone and Father Knows Best showcased her versatility and early talent. In 1960, she joined The Clear Horizon, setting the stage for her breakthrough in soap operas. In 1966, Alexander took on the role of Susan Hunter Martin on Days of Our Lives. Her emotive performances and ability to navigate complex storylines won over audiences. She remained with the show for 7 years, helping establish its emotional resonance and daily popularity. Alexander's most notable breakthrough came in 1973, when she joined General Hospital as Leslie Weber, one of the first female doctors on daytime television. Her character became central to soap lore as part of a popular love triangle and storyline surrounding her daughter's confession to a murder. Her portrayal earned her a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1976 and helped drive General Hospital to the top of the ratings. In classic soap twist fashion, her character was presumed dead in 1984, only to be dramatically revealed alive in 1996. Alexander reprised her role through 2009 with a final television appearance in 2021. In between, she continued her soap journey on Another World, further demonstrating her adaptability and sustained relevance. Her longevity in the genre was remarkable. She remained a figure of strength and dignified grace. In her emotional return to General Hospital, she infused Leslie with layers of love, regret, and resilience, connecting deeply with fans who had grown up alongside her character. Denise Alexander leaves behind a body of work that redefined daytime television and a persona that broke barriers for female leads. Her steady presence, emotional depth, and professional dedication mark her as a true legend of serialized storytelling. Lynne Marie Stewart, cherished for her radiant presence on Pee-wee's Playhouse and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, died on February 21st at the age of 78. In a career spanning 6 decades, Stewart created unforgettable characters, garnered adoration from multiple generations, and brought heartfelt dedication to every performance. Her breakthrough came in the 1970s as a member of The Groundlings, the renowned improv troupe, where she forged a lifelong creative partnership with Paul Rubens. Their collaboration led to the creation of Miss Yvonne, the most beautiful woman in Puppetland, a role she embodied on Pee-wee's Playhouse, 1986 to 1990, and in Rubens' stage shows and films. Stewart's magnetic charm and comedic timing transformed Miss Yvonne into an icon of children's television, blending innocence with sly wit and making her a beloved figure both on and off screen. Stewart extended her talents to the big screen, appearing in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, 1985, Big Top Pee-wee, 1988, and later reprising her presence in Pee-wee's Big Holiday, 2016, illustrating her enduring connection to the character in the series. Her adaptability also shone through memorable guest roles on Laverne and Shirley, MASH, and Arrested Development, where her warmth and comedic flair enriched diverse television genres. In later years, Stewart charmed viewers as Bonnie, mother to Charlie Kelly on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, 2005 to 2023. Her authentic portrayal added depth and humor to the long-running hit, proving that her talents remained undiminished across eras. Producers and audiences alike praised her natural improvisational spirit, nurtured years earlier at the Groundlings. Departments and co-stars echoed a consistent sentiment. Stewart's career was defined by a commitment to the craft above fame or accolades. Whether donning boisterous wigs or bringing sincerity to immigrant mothers and sitcom cameos, she infused each role with exuberance, dignity, and heart. With nearly 150 on-screen credits spanning film, television, theater, and voice work, Stewart leaves behind a legacy of joy and artistry. Her performances didn't merely entertain, they offered warmth, laughter, and genuine human connection. Lynne Marie Stewart's life in performing brought laughter to countless homes, and her legacy endures through the characters she breathed life into. Sophie Nyweide, the former child actor whose talent lit up screens in Mammoth, An Invisible Sign, Margot at the Wedding, and Noah, passed away on April 14th in Vermont. She was just 24 and, according to official records, was pregnant at the time of her death. Born in Burlington, Vermont in 2000, Sophie showed remarkable ambition and versatility from an early age. After gaining prominence at age 6 with her debut in Bella, 2006, she secured several roles in high-profile films by age 10. Her nuanced performance in Mammoth, 2009, opposite Gael Garcia Bernal and Michelle Williams, drew attention when she portrayed Jackie with quiet intensity and emotional depth. The film's premiere at the Berlin International Film Festival underscored her potential on an international stage. Following that success, Sophie appeared as young Izzy in An Invisible Sign, 2010, earning praise from the New York Times for her assured screen presence. She went on to work with respected directors Darren Aronofsky's Noah, 2014, and Noah Baumbach's Margot at the Wedding, 2007, demonstrating a range that straddled art house and mainstream cinema. Each role showcased her ability to add layers of authenticity and intelligence to her characters. Beyond her filmography, Sophie's formative years were interwoven with a deep connection to cinema. Growing up in a family that owned a small Vermont movie theater, she absorbed storytelling's magic from childhood. She also embraced global exploration, traveling widely, picking up new languages, and immersing herself in diverse cultures. Her passion for creativity extended to personal expressions through journals and drawings, hinting at an inner world filled with depth and emotion. By age 14, Sophie had already been credited in 7 films, signaling a rare long-term career trajectory early on. Her ability to deeply connect with her roles and convey complex emotional truths marked her as a distinct voice, one many believed would continue to evolve toward extraordinary artistic achievements. While details surrounding her death remain under investigation, remnants of her artistic spirit endure in her roles, her travels, and her creative expressions. Sophie Nyweide's cinematic journey may have been brief, but it was filled with promise, depth, and a genuine sensitivity that left audiences moved and inspired. Breaking news: Hollywood's brightest smile hid a master plan. How Goldie Hawn turned joy into power, wellness into legacy. What if the key to longevity in Hollywood was not fame or fortune, but gratitude, grit, and a perfectly timed pirouette? Before she lit up global screens with laughter and light, Goldie Hawn was a determined ballet student in Maryland, armed with tap shoes and unstoppable optimism. But behind the giggles was a blueprint, one that turned heartache into healing, stage fright into strength, and wellness into a mission bigger than showbiz. Today, we unravel the astonishing story of how this iconic performer didn't just survive the industry, she reshaped it from inside out. Ready to discover the deeper story behind the sparkle? Let's begin. Born Goldie Jean Hawn on November 21, 1945, in suburban Silver Spring, Maryland, she grew up amid her father's modest music shop and her mother's ballet studio. It was a home brimming with jazz records, weekend swing combo rehearsals, and the scent of tulle and resin, an early combination of structure and creativity that shaped her. Goldie and her sister Patty shared a room whose bunk bed slats doubled as curtains for make-believe performances. From a young age, she mimicked Lucille Ball's comedic timing in front of that worn black and white television. Her mother's ballet classes honed her discipline, while her father's weekend music gig revealed the rhythm that underpinned her future comedic brilliance. At age 11, she auditioned and won a place at the American Ballet Academy in Washington, D.C., a milestone that taught self-reliance through early train rides and pre-dawn rehearsals. Dance instilled grace, but backstage, she discovered a passion for dramatic timing and improvisation. By 15, with a scholarship to New York's summer dance program, Goldie had come to realize that ballet's precision was only part of her calling. She was equally drawn to laughter. High school drama teachers recognized a spark beyond discipline. William B. Leeds cast her as Adelaide in Guys and Dolls, a performance that blended dance and comedic timing and gave Goldie her first taste of audience acclaim. When she loaded 2 suitcases and $30 into a Ford Falcon bound for New York, she carried both ballet scores and intentional joy. In a cramped room on West 71st Street, she survived on diner coffee and bruised apples, studying ballet in the daytime and late-night comedy workshops at Cafe Wa. There, she learned what she would one day say on screen: joy can be cultivated, disciplined, and shared. In 1968, Goldie Hawn was still an unknown face, dancing in a threadbare revue staged in the dim light of a Greenwich Village basement. But her presence? Unmissable. She had a laugh that arrived before the punchline and lingered like sunlight. A casting director in the audience that night saw more than a performer. He saw a cultural current waiting to be unleashed. That moment catapulted Goldie onto national television in Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Clad in a now iconic yellow bikini, delivering surreal one-liners between fits of spontaneous giggles, Goldie did more than entertain. She redefined what comedic femininity could look like. She was at once wildly unpredictable and effortlessly magnetic, combining innocence with subversive wit. Viewers could not look away, and Hollywood began to take notice. Just 1 year later, Goldie made the leap to the silver screen in Cactus Flower, 1969, portraying a tender-hearted dental assistant caught in romantic chaos. Her performance was disarmingly genuine, layering vulnerability beneath comic timing so sharp it seemed accidental. At just 24, Goldie Hawn stood on the Oscar stage, accepting the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. It was not just a win, it was a cultural coronation. Overnight, she became a leading lady not just in laughs, but in layered storytelling. From there, her filmography bloomed with intention. She brought raw honesty to Butterflies Are Free, 1972, maternal grit to The Sugarland Express, 1974, and Biting Sophistication to Shampoo, 1975. With every role, Goldie defied pigeonholes. She was not simply America's sweetheart, she was its emotional mirror, unafraid to be funny, flawed, or fiercely real. And with each step, she carved out a new definition of what it meant to lead in Hollywood. By 1980, Goldie Hawn was no longer content to wait for stories that fit her. She began writing them herself. Private Benjamin was not just a film, it was a declaration. Born from a dinner table joke among friends about a pampered woman in boot camp, the idea stuck with Goldie. She nurtured it, developed it into a screenplay, and insisted on playing the lead role of Judy Benjamin, a sheltered widow who impulsively joins the army, expecting luxury and finding herself instead. Goldie not only starred in the film, she co-wrote and produced it. Her hands were in every part of its creation. The result was lightning in a bottle. Audiences roared, critics applauded, and box offices rang. Over $100 million globally. It was not simply a hit, it was a cultural reset. In a Hollywood still dominated by male producers and predictable narratives, Private Benjamin shattered expectations. Here was a comedy built around a woman's transformation, not her proximity to a man. It was funny, yes, but it was also smart, self-aware, and emotionally resonant. The film's success led to a 3-season television spin-off and redefined Goldie's role in the industry. She was no longer just a star. She was a storyteller with vision and power. In interviews, she spoke not of ego, but of purpose. "It is not vanity," she explained. "It is conviction, a belief that comedy could be intelligent, that women could lead stories without apology, and that entertainment could shift culture." Goldie Hawn had officially rewritten the blueprint for female-led comedies. She proved that a woman's perspective was not niche, it was universal. And more importantly, she made sure it had a seat not just in front of the camera, but behind it too. Goldie Hawn's on-screen charisma was inseparable from her physicality. Every tumble, twirl, and playful pratfall bore the grace of a trained dancer. Yet, this kinetic brilliance came at a cost. By the mid-1970s, persistent pain in her knees forced Goldie to confront an inevitable truth. The body that carried her comedic vitality was wearing down. Faced with the strain of arthroscopic surgery, she made a crucial choice, not to retreat, but to reinvent. In the wake of her operation, Goldie embraced a disciplined practice that would become her lifelong creed. Pilates, yoga, and core-strengthening routines were not mere rehabilitation tools. They became essential instruments in her creative arsenal. Each movement refined not only physical stability, but sharpened her timing. Every muscle became conscious of its role in delivering laughter, every stretch a rehearsal for the perfect comedic beat. Her journey from vulnerability to strength was deeply symbolic. She transformed medical vulnerability into physical empowerment, crafting a body that could express joy, mischief, and emotional candor with equal fluency. It was not just recovery, it was a reclamation, an inner dialogue between pain and purpose that she spoke through motion. By the turn of the millennium, Goldie was not simply lithe, she was anchored. Her fitness regime complemented her career, enabling her to perform with astonishing energy well into her later years. Industry peers observed with admiration how her practice sustained the liveliness of her performances, even as she explored deeper dramatic territory. One friend laughed that Goldie's fitness routine was a covert rehearsal for comedic pratfalls. She simply replied, "Resilience begins in the muscles, and it radiates into everything." It was more than a quip. Her physical resilience fed her creative resilience. It infused each line, each reaction with authenticity and spontaneity. In a career that spans decades and defies genre boundaries, her physical transformation stands not merely as an anecdote, but as a testament that behind every lighthearted misstep lies the strength to stand tall and to laugh through it all. As the cameras rolled and audiences erupted in laughter, Goldie Hawn understood a more complex truth. Applause could not always silence the internal noise. By the early 1980s, while her public persona sparkled, Goldie was quietly confronting anxiety, self-doubt, and the relentless scrutiny that shadowed fame. Rather than conceal her struggles, she sought clarity through action. In 1980, she began cognitive behavioral therapy, a practice she described as liberating. It helped her reframe mental turbulence not as failure, but as feedback, not as fate, but as fuel. This experience catalyzed a deeper mission. Goldie's commitment to emotional well-being expanded far beyond personal growth. Partnering with neuroscientists at the University of British Columbia, she founded Mind Up, a groundbreaking mindfulness curriculum designed for children. Implemented in over 30 countries, the program teaches students how to regulate emotions, reduce stress, and cultivate focus. For Goldie, emotional fitness was not supplementary, it was foundational. The mind, she often said, is like the body. It needs stretching, strengthening, and rest. Goldie became a rare kind of advocate, one who merged the language of neuroscience with the language of lived experience. She appeared on national platforms, translating complex psychological concepts into relatable practices, breathing exercises before tests, gratitude journaling after setbacks, mindful moments between math and reading. Her analogy resonated across school boards and parent groups alike. Mindfulness is like brushing your teeth. You do it daily to prevent decay, not just when something hurts. By modeling mental care openly, she shifted public perception. She proved that prioritizing inner peace was not indulgent, but essential. That the same discipline applied to a film set, timing, repetition, presence, could also heal the psyche. Goldie did not separate artistry from introspection. She wove them together, showing the world that true stardom includes tending the mind as fiercely as one shapes a role. In doing so, she extended her legacy beyond cinema. She built not only characters on screen, but courage in classrooms, a quiet revolution that continues to echo in every young voice learning to breathe, focus, and believe. Goldie Hawn's personal journey is woven with both brightness and burden, a kaleidoscope of joy, grief, separation, and reinvention. When her father passed in 1982, followed by her mother in 1994, Goldie turned to memory and meaning. She did not retreat from grief. She gave it a direction. Scholarships were established in her father's name. Mindfulness programs were developed in honor of her mother's lifelong belief in discipline and poise. Through personal loss, Goldie found purpose, channeling sorrow into systems of support that now serve thousands. Her romantic path was equally transformative. 2 divorces, first in 1973, then again in 1980, taught her the value of independence, clarity, and compassion. These chapters, though painful, became stepping stones to deeper self-knowledge. Goldie never allowed the end of one story to define her future. Instead, she treated each turning point as a rehearsal for something greater. That next act arrived in the form of Kurt Russell. They met again in 1983 while filming Swing Shift, and what followed was not just a romance, but a life partnership that has quietly defied Hollywood expectations. No lavish wedding, no contractual performance, just decades of mutual respect, shared values, and a creative kinship that transcended red carpets. Their love is not a spotlight romance, it is a steady flame. In each other, they found not only companionship, but a mirror for their ideals. They have raised a blended family with intention and warmth. Their homes in Malibu and Aspen are not trophies of fame, but places of daily rhythm and inspiration. There, art, activism, and home life blend seamlessly. Meditation cushions share space with film scripts. Grandchildren gather for storytelling nights. Word games and sunset walks replace the glare of premieres. What makes their partnership profound is its quiet strength. They laugh often. They give space freely. They collaborate only when it feels natural. As Goldie often says, we choose each other every day. That choice, made without fanfare but with deep conviction, has become one of her life's greatest roles. In an industry known for fleeting bonds, Goldie and Kurt's enduring partnership is a quiet revolution. Proof that love, when rooted in freedom and kindness, becomes a sanctuary that both nurtures and heals. As she gracefully navigates her late 70s, Goldie Hawn defies the conventional arc of retirement. Instead of stepping back, she is stepping forward into new ventures, deeper mentorship, and more expansive visions of what wellness, creativity, and legacy can mean. With her longtime partner, Kurt Russell, Goldie co-founded Happy Road Studios, a creative hub designed not just for content production, but for cultural nourishment. The studio champions sustainable filmmaking, mindfulness-infused storytelling, and the next generation of voices who are learning to blend entertainment with impact. One of the most anticipated projects under her leadership is a mother-daughter dramedy starring her and Kate Hudson. But this is not just another film. It comes with built-in commitments to environmental responsibility and on-set mindfulness practices, a reflection of Goldie's belief that how a story is made is just as important as what it says. She is not merely a producer, she is shaping a model for ethical, compassionate filmmaking. Her philanthropic commitments remain equally profound. Through the Mind Up Foundation, Goldie is working toward reaching 10 million children globally by 2030 with mindfulness curricula that foster emotional regulation, attention, and empathy. She funds wildfire reforestation projects along California's scorched hillsides and mentors young writers and educators alike. At her beloved pancake suppers, family members share memories across generations, binding tradition with humor and honesty. And still, she creates. A forthcoming memoir, Choreographing Joy, will trace the rhythms of her artistic and emotional life. A touring stage performance, a tapestry of spoken word, archival footage, and live music is set to bring her story to audiences city by city. Each chapter is a reaffirmation of her belief that creativity is both a craft and a way of being in the world. Asked what drives her now, Goldie smiles and offers a simple truth. Life is long if you know how to use it. Whether sketching script notes in the early morning or preparing dinner while Kurt practices lines, she continues to fuse the ordinary with the extraordinary. Goldie Hawn's legacy is not etched in stone. It moves, breathes, and grows. It is a living testament to what happens when joy is rehearsed, resilience is choreographed, and generosity is made into art. Why Goldie Hawn matters? Because her story is not just one of fame, it is a blueprint for living. She built a career rooted in physical strength, crafted her mind through mindfulness, and healed through laughter. She took the roles Hollywood offered and rewrote their limits. And as she moves forward, she does so not with the expectation of fading away, but with a sense of renewal, creativity, and service that will ripple for decades. From understudy ballerina to Academy Award winner, from comedic ingenue to female production pioneer, from anxious star to global advocate, Goldie Hawn's life remains a testament to resilience and reinvention. Even at 79, she embodies her own mantra. Aging is choreography, not curtain call. So what resonates most in Goldie's journey? From disciplined ballet student to mindfulness messenger to Hollywood mentor? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If her story awakened your sense of possibility, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us celebrate a life shaped by laughter, strength, and disciplined optimism, and continue her legacy together.